I, Justice Anastasia Msosa, with the powers vested in me as chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, therefore declare Bingu, President of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, winner of the 2009 presidential elections.
I think people had predicted that this election was going to be much closer than what it actually turned out to be. I mean, when the results came in, it was nowhere near close. I mean, DPP was way ahead.
In the last 3 general elections, no party ever scored more than 800 seats. So, in this sense, the outcome of the elections is quite historic.
DPP is different from the other parties. We've seen MCP before, we've seen UDF, but we've also seen DPP. It's making a difference in terms of food security, and you talk of justice and a lot of things.
DPP had a huge advantage by way of using state resources. Because they unleashed such a massive campaign at a very wide scale, countrywide, and we didn't have the capacity to match that.
The denial of our candidate, Dr. Bakile Muluzi, it was done at the 11th hour, so we didn't have time to replace him. Then, by the time we were making an agreement with MCP, also it was at the 11th hour, which was also very difficult. So now the DPP capitalized on the former president's speeches in 1999-2004 when he was campaigning for the incumbent president.
This country needs a person like in the name of Dr. Bingu Mutharika.
We want to assure you that Mutengo will be too support as presidential candidate.
MCP and the UDF was quite unnatural. It was something that everybody was surprised. The leaders of those two political parties never got along very well. They never really had much respect for each other. And to see the person of Dr. Muluzi getting together with the person of Honorable Tembo was quite unexpected. Nobody believed that coalition was an honest one.
I'm among the people who believe that the race will be very tight. It's a question of thinking, well, if you combine the likely vote for UDF and likely vote for MCP based on past performance, then chances are that this will amount to a majority.
What I've seen in this country, that if you are not careful, these elections are going not to be very free and fair. You look at the media. We are not allowed to be viewed on the Malawi television, for instance, on MBC 1, MBC 2. That you cannot say that is free and fair.
The public broadcasters or the state broadcasters have not performed to our expectation. NBC as well as TV seem to be giving over 90% to the ruling party, which is unfair.
They did a discredit to the media. I think they are biased in favor of the incumbent president and party. I think it's something that we hope doesn't have to be repeated again in this country if we are to sustain a democracy in which you have fair competition.
For some time, I think we've been talking about capacity of the Electoral Commission. We think it's not there yet, but they're doing a good job. They're doing their best. And I think after these elections, we should be looking at how to improve the capacity of the Electoral Commission in terms of human resource, in terms of equipment. You remember during the time of registration, one of the most terrible things that happened was the Electoral Commission lacked equipment. So we think after these elections, we have to look at how to equip the Electoral Commission itself.
Today in Malawi is the biggest day because we are voting for the president and the parliamentaries.
Till now, it seems the process is going in an orderly way. I hope it will go on like this.
We are very, very excited about this turnout. It is actually encouraging in the sense that people have seen the importance of voting and participating in elections. That, for Kumesa, is a good sign that democracy is taking root.
That's why I called Fergus. I said, Fergus, this is... And the biggest claim is...
Here at Chichiri, the printout which we had from the DC's office was showing that the registered voters was 2,200 something. But then the printout which has come from MEC is showing that those who registered here are coming up to 4,200. Now there is a discrepancy there.
Ndiye tsiku lovota pa 19 May amapezeka anthu ena amabwera kudzavota opanda chithunzi ngakhale dzina lawo panalibe.
Ndiye tinadabwa china chakuti Electoral Commission amene amapereka ma ballot papers amathothola mapepala aja ambiri kwayika mpasi pa desk ndikukhalanso ndi mamonitor a DPP mbali mwawo mwa desk. Tinawerenga mavoti kunafika usiku. Nthawi yakuti amba kuuluza mavoti ku Tale Center. Ife tisanamalize kuwerenga mavoti, tinamba kuti malizatha amba kulengeza pa radio. Timalandira ma phones from outside people. Amatiimbira ma phone. Kumene kwakuina ndi akuti ndi tinalodabwa kwambiri.
Malo 112, Malawi 112, Bingu 806.
Results started trickling in yesterday, and as HRCC, we think that the poll itself was done in the best way possible. The process has not been without challenges, but on aggregate, I think Malawi is on the right path towards this democratization, and the people have spoken. We have the voices of the people which need to be respected even in the hereafter.
This election is very significant because it has changed the way that Malawians look at issues. And for the first time, this election has actually broken the regional barriers.
We are speaking live from the Tale Center in Blantyre. Dr. Bakile Muluzi, who is the chairman of the United Democratic Front, has conceded defeat and has congratulated Dr. Bingu Mutharika for taking an early lead. Dr. Bakile Muluzi, tell us more. What exactly are you saying in the letter which you have sent to Dr. Bingu Mutharika congratulating him?
We have a multi-party democracy, which some of us were part and parcel of introducing in this country. And elections come and go. And in this time, Dr. Mutharika has won, I believe, he's leading in terms of the votes. And therefore, I thought that being a former president of this country, I telephoned him and I conveyed my congratulations to him for the victory.
We have proved to this nation and to the world that we are a national party, but we are also excited because the people have given a vote of confidence to the president and the ruling party.
People are concerned that if we have a majority which is from the government side, it will always be the government rubber stamping what it wants. What would you say to that?
I would say there should be a level of tolerance among the populace generally across political divides. See, the idea is the Constitution gives termed office for governments. You elect a government today, Constitution provides that the government should serve for 5 years. The judgment is with the people when the 5 years end. If the government that would come would prove dictatorial, then I would expect next time around the people would exercise their power to change it. Today, I'm happy once again to stand before the people of Malawi to take the solemn oath of office as head of state and government of the Republic of Malawi for the next 5 years.
sangalasa kwambiri ndona ngati fazimai tatenga mbali monga mpaliamenti mwazimai ambiri nekuti mbali yathu ichitazikhoza kutiyendera tinanso monga vice president ni mai somuzatu.
The outcome of these elections represent potentially, I think, a turning point in Malawi's democracy consolidation. However, this depends on how the DPP-led government is going to put to use the goodwill that has been bestowed on it.
We noted quite a number of irregularities, even the way the results were announced, and very quickly the winner, the so-called winner, was sworn in. We received that with a lot of discontent.
I am aware of dozens of challenges that have been mounted by parliamentary candidates. And also I'm aware that perhaps others are planning to do so. That's at the legal level. At street level, I am not aware of any significant levels of dispute of results. I'm saying this in comparison to, say, 2004, when you had street protests, you had street battles, as it were, with police and citizens. One or two people got killed in the process. So I would say the level perhaps is much lower now. But I think the challenges in the courts still remain something that I think should be treated with a seriousness.
Perhaps the biggest challenge is the DPP is in majority. The Speaker of the House is from DPP. The two deputies are from DPP. And chairman for all the standing committees in Parliament, you know, they are from DPP, even the deputies, all right? So it's like everything else is being done in DPP.
They are forcing us now that the government would want to amend the standing orders, choosing the leader of opposition, which is very awkward. This is an internal matter for opposition parties in Parliament, and it's very clear. But now the government is pushing this issue because they don't want Honorable Tembo to be leader of opposition.
Standing orders in Parliament can be changed. Actually, for him to assess to the position of leader of opposition previously, you know, MPs had to change the standing orders in Parliament, where they said, oh, the leader of the biggest party in opposition immediately becomes the leader of opposition. So we are saying, looking at who he is and what he can still do to the party, we don't want the MCP to die. All right? We don't want the MCP to die. We want MCP to keep on.
You have recently shown that people of Malawi really love you because of what you have shown them
and they are seeing the works of your hands, as you actually said. But the most surprising thing is you have amassed a lot of parliamentary seats, which in other sectors they are fearing that you might become a dictator, Mr. President.
That fear is unfounded. It's completely unfounded. It's because they don't understand what democracy is. You see, for democracy to survive, you need economic and social transformation. If there's no development, if there's no food, there are no medicines in hospitals, there are no schools, and there's no housing for the people, and the roads are bad, and you say you are democratic, it won't go. Because for democracy to sustain itself, you must have all those things to begin with. The second part is that democracy is a system of governance where the decision of the majority is carried out, but the interests, genuine or legitimate interests of the minority are safeguarded and protected. That's democracy. I'll give you an example. If there are 10 people and 10 people say, let us do this, but 2 out of 10, they say, we don't want. Right? But in any case, 8 have agreed. So you do that thing. But then you don't throw away those people and say, because they said no, and you don't include them. No, you still try to protect them. And that's the kind of democracy I'm running. And therefore, they fear that because I've won so many seats, and that democracy will not be there, it's not there. It will be safeguarded, because to begin with, I should start off by emphasizing again that, I'm the president of Malawi, I'm the father of the nation, and at the same time, all these are my children. And therefore, democracy has to be run in such a way that a minority, or those who don't conform, are still taken into account and protected. So it's not going to, in fact, this coming 5 years, you see democracy moving to a level that we've never seen before. Why? Because we want a road, we'll have it. Democracy requires a road. We want this, we'll have it. We'll have it. So it's going to be strengthened, not weakened.
Token bit na churuka ye silinga so de democracy na gati na vote la kale democracy ina ro kale 1994 ye singa so negaya
monga mene ndo wanena ine achoni joka ko nimene chifwa bali be kuchutsa kumene kina chichose imene wanena anguvomera
ko bali ndo kutira shika ndikuona ukati pali bechida chovuta atuti ndi ufulu kukhala tumakhalira naso bwino bwino zakuti so mwina kutolo kuyambana olukuti azipane ndizo machezerana bwino bwino osisango zitatuluka panali besolo chisokonezwa ayi zimangokhala kati chimodzimodzi ndi tiri kuona la democracy ndi bwino kwambiri
chimodzimodzi boma la kale limene anthu adali kuti si democracy ndi chipani chimodzi pamene pasizi kuoneka kusiyana padakakhala kuti ukali kusiyana bwezi mbali zina atatengako maudindo ena ambiri